Love this guy. Love his announcing. Love everything about him. He calls games for the Brooklyn Nets locally in the New York area, and great job on CBS and Westwood One Radio. He and Charles Davis, just a great team, and they're calling Bills Patriots 3 on CBS this weekend. Ian Eagle back here on the Rich Eisen Show. How you doing, Ian?
Hey, Rich, congratulations to you.
On what?
I mean, this hosting the Oscars gig is huge. It's immense. You've got Crystal, you've got Rock, Kimmel, DeGeneres, Goldberg, Hope, Niven, Eisen.
You forgot, I think you forgot Franco.
Franco, Hathaway.
Yes, right. Yep.
Martin, Baldwin. I had to shorten my list, Rich. We only have a certain amount of time.
I feel like this is kind of like the NFL. You don't talk about Fight Club if you want to get in Fight Club, but I'm going the opposite approach. I'm just going to say,
You're manifesting it.
You know, I'm like Robert Hunt. You know what I mean? I'm like Robert Hunt. Like this may be there may be a flag on the play, but I'm going to try and score. You know what I mean?
I did call that game.
You did, right?
Ross Tucker and I had that game on Thursday night, Miami, Baltimore. And Ross was laughing like a wounded hyena during the entire call. That's how giddy he was at what transpired with Robert Hunt making his way, instinctually grabbing the ball and going towards the end zone. It was tremendous.
It was like the football version of Costanza trying to show up the day after he quit. You know, like it's like we all know in the room this can't be, but you're going to. Why not? Right? Why not keep trying? That was incredible.
No, it was great. It was one of the wacky plays of the year, and this very unpredictable season that you've lived every pulsating moment of. We hit the postseason, and now the question is, does it go according to chalk, or do we still get some of this unpredictable vibe that has permeated throughout the regular season into the playoffs?
I agree, Ian Eagle. I agree. So you and Charles are set for Bills Patriots 3, correct?
Yeah, I mean, not the best sign that middle of the week, instead of the deep preparation that I normally put myself through, I'm Googling how to stay warm outside during sub-zero conditions. Like that, literally this morning, I woke up, I'm like, you know what? I need a game plan. And I got nothing really from the internet. Like, cover every bit of your skin.
Yep.
Thanks. I kind of knew that one. Like I'm honestly, I don't want to psych myself out. So I'm just going to go into it. I'm going to go through my normal rituals, my normal physical and mental prep, and just hope for the best on Saturday night.
There's many different things to go here, so I'll just go directly into it. So now there's no choice for you to leave the window of the booth shut?
Yeah, no choice.
Why? Because there are monitors hanging out the edge of the window, or is this a pride thing? What is it?
Yeah, I would say it's 50-50. It's the logistics of it. You need the open window for wires, for monitors, and then the other half that you just alluded to, yeah, it's a pride thing. You can't be the guy 30 years from now when they say, oh, remember the coldest day for a football game since the Ice Bowl? You're like, I don't know. We closed the windows. I have no idea. You can't.
Why? Why? It's self-preservation. Come on.
You can't, Rich. You can't. You
Why?
can't be that guy. I will do whatever I need to do to try to bundle up, but I'm not going to be the guy that was toasty warm wearing a V-neck T-shirt during New England Buffalo because it got too hot in the booth.
I don't know if you saw the last episode of Curb or if you've been up on it, but is this like Larry David roping off his director's chair? Like you would receive the scorn of everybody in the industry, and they'd all look at you as the guy who shut the window? Is that what you're saying?
Ted Danson would lose all respect for me. I could never live with that on my conscience.
It's like roping off the chair. You can't do that.
Space heater, though, Ian?
Yeah.
Space heater?
No, hold on a minute. Wait a minute. Kurt Warner's jacket. There you go. There you go. I don't think Kurt's using it. He's with me in studio. Yes.
The silver puffer comes out. Yes. I will go full Michelin Man.
Yes. The jacket, there you go. Because Kurt trended too. I don't know if that really matters to you, Ian.
I saw it. No,
You know?
It matters. It matters a lot. You kidding me? I want to be compared to a bite-sized Hershey's Kiss during a national broadcast of an NFL game. That's the kind of reaction I'm looking for. No, I heard space heaters. That's possible.
Okay.
We're going to look into whatever we need to make sure we're comfortable during the game. The reality is this is a secondary story, Rich.
Yes.
I know some people want to make it the lead. I'm not going to let it become the lead. It's a secondary narrative.
That's just you being the professional that you are. If I am not mistaken, you and Charles called the second part of this trilogy, correct? Did you call that game?
We did.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a masterful Josh Allen performance when he truly had command of the game. It just felt like from the word go, he was locked in on beating the New England Patriots that day and changing the perception of the way people view the AFC East this year. You know what the expectations were for Buffalo entering the season. This team was looking at a Super Bowl or bust mentality after what they did last year, AFC Championship game appearance, lost to Kansas City, same group back, felt like they were ready for an extended run. And they really struggled early in the season. And I think people then stopped paying attention to them for a while until they went back into the lab and got their whole game in order, where now you look at it and say, wait, they can come out of the AFC. They're just as good as anybody else. They're probably the most balanced team in the AFC if you go player for player and what they bring on the defensive end and the dynamic offensive skills that Allen brings to the table. So to me, this is a strange thing to say compared to where they were a year ago, because we had the playoff game last year, the wild card game against Indianapolis.
Right.
I actually think Buffalo is in a greater position this year after having such a tremendous regular season last year, breaking through, winning the AFC East. I like their team more today than I did a year ago.
Why?
I just think they're now prepared for it. They realize what goes into it. They've experienced some adversity. They've gotten through that period. I think they've exhaled a bit over what was, for a moment, a stretch where they could have been the biggest underachievers in the NFL, and they got through it, and now they're better because of it. They've got more of a running game right now than they did a year ago. Devin Singletary has been a factor down the stretch of the season. Their defense is tremendous. Leslie Frazier, Sean McDermott, that group has been excellent. They lose a Pro Bowler in Tre'Davious White. They've lost nothing on the field somehow. That's not saying they're better because of it. They're not. But Dane Jackson has held down his spot. Levi Wallace has been excellent. Taron Johnson is very opportunistic and seems to have a nose for the ball. I like their team. I like where they stand right now.
Well, and then it's amazing how you could say that the Patriots are the less experienced, right? I mean, certainly with that head coach who's been there and done that. We don't need to go into Belichick's resume, clearly. But when you spoke to Mac, did you get to speak to Mac Jones? Because I know that the Patriots have definitely not presented him to a lot of broadcasters. Did you get to? You did.
We do talk to him each week. Our scheduled meeting is tomorrow. And he's actually been very good in the meetings. I think the Patriots, like a lot of teams with rookies that are in prominent roles, try to pick and choose their spots, and they're easing him into this position. He's got a lot on his plate.
Yes.
But I got to tell you, he's really likable when you talk to him.
Oh, sure.
He's got a really good way about him. He's highly competitive. He gets very, very hard on himself when he makes mistakes. I think that's been out there as part of the scouting report. But good dude, likable dude. He's going to be doing this a long time in a prominent position with the Pats. We will talk to him tomorrow.
Yeah, because, I mean, obviously, that win streak that the Patriots went on, that 7-gamer that basically got him in the playoffs, and that the 7th consecutive win was the first visit that the Patriots made to Buffalo, and we all saw what happened on that Monday night game with the weather, in which he only threw it 3 times. And then comes the bye week, and he has not been the same. I mean, at all. I mean, the Colts, he did have a terrific fourth quarter to make that a game. on that Saturday night after the bye week. Then the second Buffalo game in which he really had a long afternoon. We can just take the Jacksonville game and throw that one out, although the Colts would love to do the same with Week 18. And then the game against Miami. So what do you think is the concern? What were you hearing, I guess, a couple of weeks ago? What are you sensing prior to your conversation with him getting ready for the playoffs, Ian?
Yeah, I think there's always a concern in terms of the rookie wall that takes place for a lot of these guys. I know he played at Alabama, which means you play in a whole bunch of games. He didn't start every year at Alabama. We know his story, that he waited. He got his opportunity, obviously did a great job under Nick Saban. But for all of these rookies, when you get into December and now January, there's always going to be a concern that they just don't have as much gas in the tank. And the other part of the equation is pretty simple. There's more tape. There's more film on you. Defensive coordinators are really good in this league at picking out where you are susceptible and where they can expose you out on the field. And defensively, the Patriots haven't been very good in the last month, so that hasn't helped either. I think there were probably a couple of games in that 7-game winning streak where the defense was just so dominant. Mac didn't make any mistakes, and they walked out of places with a win. And it just gets coupled together when you rip off so many wins in a row. You just assume everything is clicking all at once. Not necessarily the case. But, Rich, you know and I know that rookie quarterbacks in the NFL have had very limited success come playoff time. That just doesn't happen. Even the great ones struggle in those spots. The last 3 to win games in the NFL as a rookie in the playoffs, you've got Mark Sanchez, you've got Joe Flacco, you've got Ben Roethlisberger.
That's it, man.
No rookie QB has ever won a Super Bowl, and there's a reason behind it. It requires reps, experience, life experience doing this job, and Mac is no different.
You could say the same thing for first-time quarterbacks in the playoffs as well, and that's where Burrow and also Derek Carr fall under that umbrella. Jalen Hurts in the NFC, and so on and so forth. Ian Eagle here on the Rich Eisen Show. Before I let you go, I just want to tap into your Nets world a little bit here. Why did the Nets eventually decide half of Kyrie is better than none after they said otherwise prior to the season? Right.
Yeah, I think their decision was made when COVID hit the team and was hitting teams all around the league, and they looked at their roster and they said, okay, well, what are we doing here? We've got a Ferrari in the garage that we're not willing to drive even on a part-time basis. Do we need to reassess our stand on this? And they tried to look at it logically. They took the temperature of the team. I believe Kevin Durant was vociferous in his opinion that he wants Kyrie out there, even if it's on a part-time basis. And ultimately, that's something you have to consider. When your star player, the guy that you've built your team around in Kevin Durant, feels very strongly about something, you've got to listen as an owner, as a GM, as a head coach. So I think there were a lot of factors that went into it, but the main one was the team is flawed, and they believe that Kyrie would make them better. They're trying to figure out exactly how this is going to go. I think there's still a part of them that believes eventually he'll play in home games, but getting to that point, it's been a very circuitous route to get there in the New York City mandates and then Kyrie's own personal beliefs.
Right. So that the way around it would be, I guess, for him to either take the shot or move to Pennsylvania and helicopter in? I mean, seriously.
Yeah, the second part, trust me, they were very much aware of. I think there's a faction within the team when the mandates came down initially. They read through them, and this is going back to late summer, August, September, before it was even public. Mm-hmm. It looked like there would be a loophole, a caveat that if you're not a New York City resident, this would not apply to you. Kyrie Irving lives in New Jersey. That is his state of residence. So there was a short period of time where both the Nets and Kyrie and his people thought, okay, this doesn't apply to him. He's going to be fine. And then about 7 or 8 days after they got the initial paperwork, there was an addendum of some sort from the mayor's office saying, no. That includes the tri-state, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, if you work in New York City on a quote-unquote full-time basis. So the goalpost definitely shifted from the initial contact, and I do think that's why the Nets and Kyrie thought this was going to be pretty much irrelevant when it first came down, at least behind the scenes.
Ian Eagle, thank you for the time, sir. Greatly appreciate it. As a thank you, because we always try to leave you better, even though you can't see this. We have done this, and I will text it to you. The crack staff, to use the Marv phrase, here at the Rich Eisen Show have put your head on Kurt Warner's jacket.
Seamless.
It's not as bad as you think it might be. I'm just saying you should leave the door open a little bit here. You know?
Rich,
yes.
You're in contact with Kurt on a daily basis.
I am.
If
Sure.
he's willing to send me the jacket, I will wear it as an homage. In addition, it's self-preservation. The thing looked warm as hell. It was taking in whatever sunlight there was.
Yes.
It was beamed into the jacket for extra warmth. So
solar powered. It's a solar powered. Yes.
Yeah, I'll go there.
Now,
I don't care about being mocked. At
electric blanket, or maybe that Costanza Russian hat, like one of those.
No,
type
that
deals?
turned out to be a rat,
yeah.
though. That was bad. That turned out to be. We can't have that. But my concern, though, also, Ian, for you, is does the CBS crest have to be stitched on it?
Oh.
No, at this stage, I think it's every man, woman for themselves. I'll wear a babushka. You want me to wear a babushka? I'll wear a babushka.
Whatever it
What
takes.
do you got to do? Whatever it takes. Because you got to. It's all about bringing your A game. So branding, CBS branding, be darned. You got to be warm. I'm calling Kurt during the commercial break.
Just donated to science.
Honestly, because
I'm willing.
Because he lives in Arizona. I know his schedule. He's doing 2 studio shows here in Los Angeles, and then he's sticking around. He's doing the Westwood One broadcast of the Monday night game from SoFi. He does not need it over the next week.
It's tailor-made. This is set up for me.
There it is.
I don't see any other purpose other than going to the Smithsonian. What else are you doing with that?
Canton.
He doesn't require it.
Canton. That's where it's got to go.
Okay.
Canton.
Yeah, of course.
It may want it.
How silly of me.
And thanks for the call. You take care.
All right, guys. All the best. Send me that pic. I need that.
It's coming. It's coming.
It's going up on Twitter right now.
Well, I mean, I'll send it to you, too. You could use it for your own purposes. Do you take care, Ryan?
George Burns. That was the other host I was thinking.
In, man. Don't you know the campaign has just begun for me to host the Oscars.
I'm pushing the East Coast. They're going to know about this.
Thank you very much. Ian Eagle, everybody, from CBS. And yes, as well. I love it. Okay. Send me that photo. I have to send it to him. And I'm calling Kurt right now. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.